Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive safe, Dave, Sir Rick, and the producer coming to you live right here from Mansfield, Texas. Top of the morning to you. And as we start this morning, we start it with the Scorcher. Drive safe. What you got going on over there?
What do you mean? I was just trying to twist my lid and make sure it was secure so I didn't have a spill.
You know, we start the show and we come in here and all
safe.
of these things should happen before we go on air.
It's called a double check, sir.
Before we go on air. It's called preparation.
And it's called a double check.
It's called
Sometimes
preparation.
you have to pull over and recheck the equipment and make sure the load's secure.
It sounds like you didn't do a proper pre-trip is what it sounds like to me.
But
it changed on you?
Yeah, and you know what? I really wanted my name to be coming outward, so I put the...
Again, I'm good with that, but man, we have so much to talk about, and I got you over there just messing around with things again. And this show is sponsored by Southwest Trucks, right? Go ahead and show them our sponsor.
No, I got my
it's
name.
Free sponsorship today on BCB Live.
Safe,
Turn it around. Let's show them the truck that we don't.
You can't see the other side. All you can see is my name imprinted on one side. That's all you can see. And look, watch.
Even that was disgusting.
What, a sip of coffee?
Do you drink? Do you make that face when you drink?
Sometimes. Sometimes in the morning, I get that first cup of coffee.
Freaky. You remind me never to have
all excited.
Seriously, dude, that is gross. America doesn't need to see this. Not this early. Not this early. This is one way to go on a diet and to lose some weight there. Hey, drive safe. We got some loose gravel going on. Talk about this shirt.
You know, basically it's signs, warning signs that different caution signs that the road surface has changed. You may see these. Sometimes they're slippery ahead. Loose gravel also makes it slippery. Sometimes there'll be bumps. Sometimes there'll be rough road. Sometimes it will say a dip. You probably know that.
I know a dip or two. Yes.
And then there'll probably be other indications. But this also normally means what, Rick? Slow down.
Yeah.
Be
Gravel's
cautious.
loose.
Loose gravel. Throws up.
Gravel loose. Hey, listen, it's a hot one today across the country. A scorcher here in Texas. Remember to drink plenty of fluid. You know, as when it gets this hot, then why are we stuck on you here?
Because I don't know. But hey,
you know what?
everybody.
Maybe a producer was onto something. Their producer, put it back on him. Because one thing's for certain, when it gets this hot, also what happens is that static electricity comes out. And we'll give you an idea here. I mean, what's going on with this?
I don't know.
What's going on? I feel like you woke up and put a balloon on your head. Just got to
rubbed it. Stuck them on the walls before I left. Yeah, we had a little party going on.
You're driving a different car again.
I am.
Right?
Yes.
What are you driving?
Ford Explorer Platinum.
Okay. And AC doesn't, and you had the window down in the Ford Explorer Platinum?
Well, yeah. Well, I was.
You're lying this morning.
I did have the window down for a minute.
Dave, who would ride their window down right now? It's still hot out there.
It's not.
All right,
that
I'm going
bad.
fake news. I'm going. You got up late. You walked into work late today. You come in with a cup that you're jacking with. It's all. Let me tell you something. When you come in late, you start doing things weird. It's no different than a driver. It's no different than when you're out there on the road. When you're on the road, you feel like you're late. You just do things you normally wouldn't do.
So there's nothing you would do in the car that you would roll the window down, whether it be hot or not, even when it's warm. There's no instance
on a 6-mile drive from your house to here.
Anything you might do in the car.
Tell me, what did you do for the car? Why'd you roll the window down?
I just, for some reason,
just for the heck of it.
It didn't smell right.
Just
in the car.
for the hell of it.
Didn't smell right in the car for a minute.
I'm going fake news once again.
Just for a minute.
All right, we're off of that. But you know what? We're going to keep it on you. And Dave, it's Wednesday. And you know what? This is the day that we choose to donate some funds to a local charity. It's the first time ever. I just made that up.
Yes,
but we're going to go this right here. We're going to go to the Mansfield's Food Bank. Mansfield, Texas, their food bank. We're going to do this for a good cause. Dave, you are a history buff. And I just pulled up random questions from Reader's Digest. Nothing crazy. Straight off their thing. And here we go.
Let's go.
$25 for every correct answer. We're going to go 10 questions.
All right.
And you're on a time limit. You can't use your computer.
I'm off.
All right? You got like 3 seconds to get this answer.
Okay.
And here we go. Question number 1, Dave. Listen, This is for a lot of kids, a lot of people out there that need to be fed
Can
this
I make
stuff.
up? Can I make
Well, you can make it. I have the answers here, so you're okay. You tend to make up your answers anyway. Okay. All right, Dave, and this is one that I would assume you're going to get. When was the Declaration of Independence signed?
1776.
What month and date?
I'm going to go July 3rd.
August the 2nd. So now we're going to go to the food bank, and you're going to take $25 of food from them. You're going to rob it. Somehow I'm going to give.
I don't think that's how charities work.
No. I'm giving to the charity. You're going to take away only if you lose.
How did you get August 5th?
That's just August 2nd. Don't forget.
Is that the last person to sign it?
David, it was signed. Here we go. Question. The United States, and you should get this one. The United States bought Alaska from which country?
Russia.
Bingo. We're even. You put the food back. Put those green beans back in the back. All right. Here we go. Again, some of these are so easy. Here's another easy one. And I will be so disappointed if you don't even get this one. All right. Here you go. Who was the 4th president of the United States?
It was John Quincy Adams.
James Madison.
James.
4, dude. Why do you keep going to 5?
Okay, he's 5th.
Okay, I didn't, but I said 4th.
Sorry,
and you
I'm sorry.
Still counted out 5.
Yeah,
I don't even know if he's the 5th. That could be a lie. I have no idea. Yeah. I know the 1st, and that's it. So, and the current one. So that's all. But you know what? You missed it. The 4th.
All right, I missed it.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Go back and get them green beans. We're down $25.
Let's go.
All right. Which era marked a switch from agriculture practices to industrial practices? One more time.
The Industrial Revolution.
There you go. Good job, Drive Safe Dave. You're 2. You're putting them back. You have Mansfield, Texas, to your food bank. You've made no progress right now on 4 questions. He's just giving.
Hey, I'm 50.
He
I'm
gives
not even
and
too
takes
old to
away.
go.
He gives and
come
takes
on, let's
away.
Go. Question.
What was the name of the series of the programs and projects President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of your favorite, enacted during the Great Depression? What was the name of the series of programs and projects President Franklin D. Roosevelt enacted during the Great Depression?
Those were the. I even know the projects. It was the CCC Valley.
You're close.
Hang on. It was the.
You got 5 seconds. 1. The New Deal.
New Deal. Dang it, because it was
New Deal.
It was New Deal. Sorry.
Back. He's negative 25 again.
Come on.
Fill in the blank. The 19th Amendment guarantees blank the right to vote.
Women.
Yes, and I know you're not a big fan of that. You just, but
what? What?
I
Do
know.
not say
if there's
that.
one amendment
Do
Drive
not
Safe
say
Dave doesn't
that.
like.
That is not true, sir.
Drive Safe.
That is not true.
Those are all conversations that occur after the show. You know,
and that was in 1920, I think.
No extra credit. Just so
no
you
extra
know.
credit.
I don't even know if it's right. It doesn't say that.
1920.
All right, so we're 3 for 3. Still no money. All right, big womanizer. You know, you're the woman.
Wow.
Oh, here you go. You're the womanizer. Here we go.
That's a compliment, by the way.
Who was the first woman to make $1 million in the United States?
Wow.
I mean, for somebody that's so pro-woman, I'd expect you to know this, Dave. I mean, you spend most of your time just putting them on. Once again, you probably have a problem with the fact it was probably inherited, not earned, according to Drive Safe.
Betty
Dave.
Crocker.
Dave, that wasn't a bad guess. It's wrong, though. Madam C.J. Walker.
Okay. All right.
Do you know what Madam C.J. Walker did?
I do not, sir.
I don't either. You know, I was a... All right. What year... And we're back to your negative right now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. And I'm just going to tell you, if we get to $25, we're going to have to wait and give. I'm not going down there giving $25. All right. Here we go. What year was... This is a Texas thing, and I expect you to know. I will.
Come on!
Dave, you're going to go and donate 100 if you miss this one. What year was George H.W. Bush elected president? What year was George H.W. Bush elected president? And you're running out of time. I'm just telling you right now. Don't tell me what to do. I need an answer. I deserve an answer. You want the truth?
84.
88.
88.
You are not an American. You are not a Texan.
Oh, Reagan was 80 to 84.
Yeah.
And then Bush,
Oh, yeah.
88.
Now I
Sorry.
know. Now I know. Now that I've taken $50 from the Mansfield
Come on,
food,
let's go.
I've taken $50 from the kids. All you can do is break
I need
even.
more coffee.
Or I'm running you down there and you're going to go break in and steal something. All right, here we go. Where was Martin Luther King Jr. born? Dave, all you can do is break even.
You know where this is?
I think I do.
I'm going to go.
Do you want a phone for help?
No, I
Let's
don't want a
not
phone.
miss this. Okay.
Where was he born?
It's really question. Yeah, not a second birth, not religion thing. Where was he physically born?
I'm going to go.
Producer, you guys, give me a bonus answer. What?
Like just the full answer or just help
Well,
out?
I mean, I don't. Just give me the answer.
Was it
What would the partial
Alabama
answer
or
be?
Mississippi?
is it Georgia?
Thank you.
Oh.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, is it like
Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you, producer. We're back to almost even. Dave, last question right here. Finish the line. President Franklin D. Roosevelt said during this speech addressing the attack on Pearl Harbor yesterday, December 7th, 1941.
a date that will live in infamy.
I want you to say it like you mean it. Okay, we're going back. Dave, this is just for a bonus. This is to get even. I want you to picture yourself as the president, okay? Here we go. Dave Dover. Finish the line. President Franklin D. Roosevelt said during his speech addressing the attack on Pearl Harbor yesterday, December 7th, 1941.
A date that will live in infamy.
I don't know. We're going to take a break and we right back with more.
Is that
We
correct?
you know what? We broke. It was right. Yeah, we broke even thanks to the producer. You don't have to run down and steal from the Tarrant County Food Bank. You're not getting any money, Tarrant County. We
That's not
tried
even 2-0
once
and go, is
again.
it?
Nothing happened. Hey, whatever you have in stock right now is the same thing you're going to have in stock for the rest of the day.
Woo!
No donations from BCB Live. Producer, take us to a break.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high quality, ANSI certified, high visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear gives you the added benefit of providing a barrier to liquids, dirt, and grime, keeping you cleaner longer, brighter longer, and therefore safer longer. Get your high visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Welcome back to BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. We're doing a little bit of freight and review right now. And here we go. We're looking at the volume of freight. And the volume, I have this backed out going a year ago. Look at the difference right here between a year ago and today at 12,391. The volume is considerably less. Pretty impressive when you think about the amount of freight, how we changed our buying habits last year. Now look though, if I go back to the years past, and we're going to look at, we're going to go back a couple years back. Remember the volume where we were a year ago, and how it's kind of shrunk down right now. What I still want you to look at, and I'm going to put the marker here. Every other year, look at where the volume of freight was. Considerably less than where we are today. We took a little hit today, but freight volume continues to stay pretty strong at 12.4. Now, we're going to get to the fuel. We're going to see those pricing going down as well. All of that's going to help. You know, we're going to keep looking at all of that. Before we do that, though, we're going to look at the volume of freight. And look at this right here. I have two things in here. I have the blue and the green. The green is the initial quotes. These are from the trucking companies, the larger companies, the large brokers. They send rate requests out, or rate requests come to them. They rate the freight. You can see again, if we go back and look at this past year, we see that, you know, that pretty close together. We saw the initial one in 2020 and even in 2021. We saw the rates in 2021, the initial ones coming in here, and then the final way above the initial. That showed you the season of those times. It was just an unusual period that shippers and carriers, I should say, carriers were pricing freight at, say, $2.50, and they couldn't move that freight. They had to quickly change the rates on their final bid to $3. Today, you see about the opposite. They're coming in high on that green, and here's where the rates are settling, still around that $2.80 mark. We're going to look at the freight rates now. We're going to look at the last 3 months here. Maybe. Here we go. All right, last 3 months. We still have seen freight come down a little bit, down to the $1.98 mark. And that's where that green is right there. The blue, $1.98. This is before fuel. We look at the last month, and let's just see what's been going on the spot market freight. A month ago, we saw rates up there. We've seen it kind of settle down, though, in that $1.98, $1.95 mark. It seems low, right? I mean, if you remember last year, you know how the rates were just crazy high last year. I'm going back a year ago. Here's where the rates were a year ago. You know, all the way through, and then they plummeted down. We saw the volume do the same thing on that earlier slide. A lot of freight volume out there. We saw it up here, and then that's where it is today. Here were the rates, though. And you know, when we talk about the contracted rates, we also see that. Remember when we saw the green, we saw the initial quotes here, and then the final rates were a little higher. That's what happens when the volume spikes like it did last year. Once again, here's the pricing today, a year ago, and here we are today down there. And it just feels like it's bad, it's low, and my God, how are we ever going to make it happen? Well, look at the history, though. This is going back to 2018. Look at the pricing where it was compared to where we are today. Once again, showing that the rating itself isn't bad. The spot market rates are still strong. However, you have fuel, and fuel does continue to make its way down. My God, is that making a big difference to the independent contractors out there? You know, we've seen now for 5 weeks in a row, 10-cent or greater reduction in the DOE pricing per week. Last week we saw 13 over 13 and a half. This week we saw another 13-cent decrease. You know, it's down about 67 cents. And what that means to you is about another dime, maybe 11, 12 cents per mile of profit. The independent contractor, you depend on that. So a 3,000 mile week to you now, you really should be making about $300 more than you were, say, a month ago. So same miles, same everything, you should be taking home about $300 or call it $1,200 a month. That definitely makes a difference. It helps you make that truck payment. For some of you, it may be the difference in staying in business and going out of business. Once again, we look at the pricing and look at that decrease. It's absolutely amazing over the last month. We saw the pricing clear up here, and look at that. It was at $3.80 today. I'm sorry, $5.80, $5.32 on the pricing at the fuel pumps. But I want to take it back again and look at the 5-year. If we go back all the way to 2018, we see pricing down here at $2, you know, a little at $2.85, $2.90 a mile per gallon. I'm sorry, right here. We saw it dip down, you know, that was a bad time, right? Then all of a sudden, look at it just skyrocket this last, you know, really 6 months, 8 months. We've seen a huge increase in the cost per gallon on that diesel side. It's something that's going to make a difference in how we succeed as a country right now. The same goes to fuel. Listen, the less that we pay at that pump, the more that we're going to be able to go out there and spend it on what we need, and that's that truckload, right? Buying groceries, buying food, buying clothes. School's right around the corner. Housing, buying houses, cars, all of these things that we need that money to go to keep our business in check. We'll be back with an interview coming up next on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, It's if you're doing something wrong.
Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety.
One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
All right, this is Drive Safe Dave with BCB Live. We are back live here at the show, and I just want to make sure, Amy, welcome back to the show.
Hi.
She's walking around pointing out all the problems going on. She's hiding her eyes and going OSHA violation, in and out, all around. First of all, Amy, tell us who you are and who you're with. We want to make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Rusa. I am the CEO and founder of the Safety Rack, which is a YouTube channel designed to talk about women's PPE and workwear and close the gender gap on that industry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, when you talk safety equipment 15, 20 years ago, it was one size fits all, right?
Yes.
And now it's not that way
No.
anymore. Now we found ways to make it better, safer, fashionable. Heck, Sir Rick walks around in PPE 24/7. I think he has pajamas.
I have heard this, and slippers to go with it.
That's PPE slippers. And you know what? It's not okay. There's a problem right there. Honestly, there's a problem.
Should we have an intervention today?
We should talk about it and going on. So anything new going on that you want to bring up?
The YouTube channel's growing, so if you are out there trying to look for women's workwear and PPE, definitely head over to YouTube for the Safety Rack and hit subscribe. I have new content coming out.
All right.
And-
okay.
yeah.
Like, how can they get to it? What do they need to do? How do they get there on YouTube? What do they look up?
Just look up the Safety Rack.
The Safety Rack. Make sure you get an opportunity to log on, and tune in anytime,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
See what it's got. You got any special guests on lately?
I don't, but I will be launching the podcast next month.
All right, and
Yeah.
we're excited about that. Amy, you have a special guest in the house,
Do.
and I just want to, it's Dad, isn't it?
It's Dad.
Hey, Dad. All right, so Dad, give Dad the mic for a second. Hey, Dad, how are
Hi
you
there.
doing? Drive Safe Dave here. It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
All right, let's talk for a minute. Former truck driver.
Yes.
How long did you drive a truck?
I started in 1986. I just retired last November.
So you've been driving basically since '86.
Yes.
Over the road mostly?
No, actually city mostly.
Mostly city. Run
Yes.
last mile type delivery?
LTL.
LTL?
My last career was LTL.
Was it really? And then, so over the career, and I'm just going to ask, how has it changed dramatically, would you say, as far as safety equipment within the truck, from when you started in '86 to where it is to the last truck you got in?
I showed her a Peterbilt out here, a Peterbilt cab over, and that was the truck that I learned on. And I remember going through the mountain passes with a 350 Cummins, no engine brake. And now, my last truck, my Peterbilt, I just throw the engine brake on. When they give you a speed to go down the hill at, believe that. Do what they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it in that gear and just hit the brake, and you would just go down. I'd never sweat it. You know, back in 1986, yeah, you were just wanting to get down the bottom without.
Yeah, you actually got out and looked at your brakes.
Yes.
You actually
Yes.
got out and checked them because you wanted to make sure they were basically ready
Yes.
to go down the hill, because if you didn't,
Yep.
you were going to be sorry before you got to the
And
bottom.
that's one thing that really I saw as a problem in the company I work with the fleet is guys get lazy. They don't look. Every trip you walk around, look.
Yeah.
You know, and look at your brakes. And when you're using equipment that somebody else has been, and then you get it and you see that the axle, boy, you've got an axle's leaking here, and you know, and how many guys pulled that and never bothered to look at it?
I think that's a real big important thing, and I think what we're trying to do is what we're focusing on here, and when we talk about in BCB Live, that pre-trip, how necessary it is to make it happen, and you've been doing it a long time.
Yes.
The basics never go away.
No.
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 The basics never go away. I don't care if you drive an old Pete or a brand new Pete. Those basic fundamental safety things never go away.
And you know how to do it because you had to do it to get your license in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And all you can do, if you do it, you practice it, you just get better.
Yes.
So, and I would say over the years, if you had to tell and you had to pull a guy aside who's just starting out 1 year away, what's that? That's the one big piece of advice you would give them. Hey,
don't take it for granted.
Don't take
it for
anything
granted
for
that
granted.
this equipment is okay to drive.
yeah, because it's not.
No.
It's not
No.
okay till you say it's okay.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it doesn't matter what name's on the side. It doesn't matter who pulled it last. When you get in it and you drive it, guess who owns it?
Yes.
The driver owns it, and that's what we got to realize. We got to understand. And if you own it, you got to do it. You got to drive it like you own it, right?
And me personally, I never wanted somebody to get into a piece of equipment that I just got out of
Right,
and
absolutely.
find something wrong with it. My stamp of approval was on it. My
Absolutely.
reputation when you got in that truck or you're pulling that trailer.
I already knew it was wrong.
I looked.
Yeah,
yes.
I already turned in a DVIR.
Yeah.
I had already done that. Yeah.
And yes, and
I'd already. I knew it first because I was
Yeah.
just in it. And not only and you talk about that, we talk about pre-trips a lot. That post-trip is important
post trip.
as well.
You go to a terminal and you watch guys come in.
And they jump out.
They back into the door and they pull the pin and they drop it and you didn't look. And you just drove 400 miles to get here and you didn't look at anything. And
That is not a stamp of approval, is it?
no.
And what else out there as you drive and as you were driving? I know not now, you don't drive now, but you've got a lot of years of experience behind you, a lot of miles underneath your wings. What's the other one thing out there on the road? Now I know what you do before you get out on the road when you get back. What's that one thing you want to tell them to be aware of when you're out there on the road?
I was asked once. I used to be on the safety committee for the company I worked for, and I can't say I had a perfect record. I had some, and every accident I ever had where you turn and you scrape somebody, it's because you're thinking of what you're going to be doing. I got this delivery. Are they going to be there? And you got to stay in the moment and pay attention to what you're doing right at that time. Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you that one of the hardest things to do. We talk about it all the time, and we bring it up here on the show, and we want to reiterate it. Is that driving a truck is so complicated, or driving at all. I don't care if you're in a 4-wheeler or if you're in an 18-wheeler. I don't really care. There's so much going on. You don't have time for that computer to spin for a minute while it thinks, because then you've had an accident. You don't have time for your brain to stop and put on pause a moment when you're out there. You've got to make sure that you're focused on what you're doing and paying attention just like you are in the moment, being prepared for what may come, but never be in a hurry, because I think that's when we start thinking too far ahead, we start getting in a hurry in what we're doing.
And one thing I recommend, and I've been fortunate that 2 places that I worked put me through the Smith system.
Yeah, the Smith system works.
And it's if you don't know what it is, or you never go look it up. It's a real thing.
Yeah, we talk about it here on the show. You know what I like about the Smith system? It's an effort to make you aware of what you're doing and how to drive. And I think it's a process in which you can apply in your everyday driving, and it can be applied to anyone.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're in a big truck or if you're in a personal vehicle. It doesn't really matter as long as you're involved. Hey, I appreciate your service out there on the road. I mean,
thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, let me tell you, we had an opportunity when we had COVID to really appreciate the drivers for the first time, and I think a long time, right? We've had a real rare opportunity, a real rare moment to look over and realize what heroic activity is happening out there on the road, right? I mean, genuinely understand and appreciate what drivers do. Because a lot of the times we lose sight of, we take for granted that it's on the shelf. We take for granted that it's there when we need it. We take for granted the clothes that we have on our back that we buy, and it
all came on a truck. Somewhere.
Everything came on a truck.
Yes.
Even if it came on a train, it came on a truck, but when it got here.
Yes.
I mean, it didn't get to the train by air. I mean, it came on. It got to the train on a truck. I'm just saying, it all came on a truck, and even when it comes on a boat, it goes on a truck.
Yes.
So I'll tell you, we got to understand, we got to appreciate, we got to remember what we're doing. I want to thank you for your service out there.
Thank you.
Thanks for
You're
bringing
welcome.
your dad by. Are y'all enjoy the show today? And I'm telling you, stop by and get. Have you ever been to I-80 truck stop before?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I tell you what. Have you had the pork chop sandwich before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
telling you, I keep
worth
talking
the
about
trip.
it, and I don't know, but I got to go get me one here in a minute. I hope y'all have a great day. Enjoy the show. Thanks for stopping by, and we look forward to your podcast soon.
Thank
All
you.
We'll be back in just a minute. I think Sir Rick's got somebody lined up with a challenge.
See you in just a second on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hey, welcome to BCB Live. You got Double Check Dale here to talk about some weather. Got Boyd running the controls, doing a great job back there this morning. Thank you, Boyd. Hey, we're going to start off with some weather today, and guess what? It is still hot out there. Hey, by this afternoon, you know, we're going to be at 104 here in Dallas, 102 in Oklahoma City, and it just goes up through the Midwest, North Platte 98, Bismarck 91. So it's going to be another very, very hot day. We do see a little bit more winds today than we have previously. Let's take a look and see what we got for wind gusts. Currently, of course, there's not a whole lot going on, just starting to build a little bit up there in Wyoming. But as we slide to this afternoon a little bit, you're going to see some stronger winds starting to develop here through central Texas, up through Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, into Iowa. You know, those are just stronger winds, no major gusts expected with those. But where you will see some stronger gusts this afternoon is in that Wyoming, probably across that I-80 corridor. And then you will also see some higher elevations of Colorado is going to see some higher winds this afternoon with some stronger gusts, 35 miles or better. And then as the evening goes on, except with the exception of Wyoming, the winds start to die down, so it's a pretty decent day there. As we look at precipitation, currently not a whole lot going on. A little bit of rain up north of Salt Lake City, a little bit of rain down in New Orleans, a little bit of a storm there. And then Kentucky still has some rain and storms predicted for today, even in those areas that have some flash flooding and have got a lot of it. So if you're out in that area, you could see some more rain, and be aware of the flash flooding and the flooding that's going on in the Kentucky-Tennessee area. As we go into the afternoon hours, by about 3 o'clock, the storm started intensifying, picking up, and so Louisiana up into Mississippi is going to see a pretty strong storm this afternoon, maybe some strong winds with that, heavy rains, maybe some flash flooding. Other areas, Wyoming should see some rain this afternoon, as again, Kentucky, southern Indiana, St. Louis may see some. You go out to the East Coast, not a lot going on up there until you get into Maine. There's a pretty good thunderstorm up there this afternoon around 3 o'clock. And as we go into the evening hours, the storms start to intensify a little bit. Got a very strong cell there right down in the corner of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, a very strong cell there. And then that storm system that's coming from the north in Illinois, Indiana, again through Kentucky and Tennessee, some of that same area that's gotten a lot of rain and has had some flash flooding and stuff. So if you're in that area, definitely be aware of that. And with that, we're going to take a short break and come back and talk some safety.
Hi, this is David Dover, also known as Drive Safe Dave. You are watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Safety is what you want to talk about, and safety is what you want to be every single day. That's what we're here for. We're here to make it better.
The industry needs BCB Live so that it can find new and inventive ways to bring safety to the forefront for every single person out there on the road.
And you got to be prepared to stop. And when you look at that and you understand the situation that you're in, you got to know that it's going to change. You got to expect it to change, and you can't run those lights.
You can watch BCB Live weekdays, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So what are you waiting for? Follow and subscribe to BCB Live today.
All right,
Chip
we're back to
Rosowski,
BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave here, along with Double Check Dale. Double Check, we're talking about get out and look, right?
We're going to talk about backing up safely, get out and look. But before we go there, just want to remind everybody that August is one of the deadliest months and one of the most accident-prone months of the year. So please drive safely. Keep that in the back of your mind. There's a whole lot more traveling going on out there right now. So keep that in mind. Drive defensively. Try to anticipate the action of others, because there is more traffic, and this is the month where we see a lot of accidents and unfortunately a lot of fatalities on the roadways. But yes, drive safe. We are talking about backing up safely, get out and look. You know, today's tip, use your resources. You know, by that I mean, when you drive into the area where you're going to back up, survey the scene. If your mirrors aren't in good adjustment, adjust your mirrors. Clean your mirrors or windows. Are they clean? You got to be able to see where you're backing up to. Know where your blind spots are. When you get ready to start backing up, roll your window down. Turn off all your audible distractions so you can hear what's going on around you. Hey, and if you have a spotter available, use that spotter. And one of the things I like, especially in truck stops, throw your four-way flashers on, communicate with other drivers, let them know what's going on.
You should always, always, always put your flashers on when you're backing a truck up.
Just communicate with them,
And
right?
it's okay to blow the horn before you move the vehicle,
Yep.
right?
It is okay to do that. It gets people's attention. That's what you want. You want to be seen or you want to be heard. You want to let people know what's going on with you. So blow your horn doesn't hurt. Flashers is a good idea. You know, just communicate with people.
Yeah, and as you back up, you always want to make sure you have your window down, the radio not running, and you're not talking on the phone. You want to be able to hear, because if somebody cries out, somebody yells, "Hey," you know it might be you, and you might want to stop. So
Yeah.
you want to be cautious. So always, always make sure that you can hear what's going on around you.
Take those distractions away from you. It's always important to be distraction free, but probably none more so than when you're backing up.
All right, let's watch the videos.
Got some great videos this morning. It's not your typical one, so these will be a little bit different, a little bit longer to watch, but a lot going on in them.
Yeah, the first video we got is called Great Patience. We talked about it. Rick talked about it yesterday morning at the opening, and it's about 1 minute long, but it's a great video. Here we go.
You know, here we are. You know, we know there's an accident scene or there's something going on up ahead. This driver's got the speed way down. I think around about 7 miles an hour. And we can see, you know, lots going on, slow traffic, 3 lanes wide. People are starting to merge over, and this driver just does a super job of letting those cars come over, not getting in a hurry, you know, doing the patient thing, the professional thing, letting them get out of the way, holding his lane, not trying to get into the fastest lane. So it's just so much good stuff going on here. Great job of letting them all over. And then, you know, just as we're about to go past, one last car tries squeezing by. It's just amazing how, you know, when they get that close to the cop car that they still think they should come by. Driver did nothing wrong in here. I mean, you know, that's not going to be his fault, but always want to look in accidents as a preventable. Driver did a great job of letting everyone pass. That last car tried squeezing in. Could he have, should he have noticed? You know, that's the $1 million question here.
Yeah, this is a difficult position. The driver's doing a great job allowing everybody in, being very patient, running at a consistent, slow speed, not stopping and going. Look, the driver's doing a fantastic job of understanding what's going on here, and this car just wouldn't, just wouldn't pay attention to what's going on around him. Did he think he was going to win that? Did he, I mean, that illegal, he basically came into the lane.
Yeah.
Well, there's a vehicle in it.
Well, and look where he came into the lane at. I mean, if we show it and speed it up.
And I'm going to tell everybody right now, just so everybody's understanding, that is a blind spot right there.
Yep.
That is a blind spot to the driver. It's really hard to see that right there, that area right there.
And there's a police vehicle parked right there. And I mean, and still the car tries to squeeze in there through that blind spot. So great job by the driver showing patience in this one.
And so next is, I guess, the video that takes place right afterwards. What was this tow truck thinking?
Yeah, I mean, and so this is still part of that same clip, and we watched, this was part of the original accident. We have that tow truck up there trying to make a turnaround. You know, we talk about how dangerous U-turns and turning around on a public highway could be. What the heck is this guy thinking? I mean, turns around in all 3 lanes. If the driver of the four-wheeler hadn't been paying attention, it was distracted, I mean, he's probably going to hit that tow truck there. So it just goes to show how important that speed and space is, and not letting yourself get distracted and watching the big picture, seeing everything that's going on.
And to the tow truck's defense, this is an accident scene, and he's trying to clear it.
Oh, I
and
understand.
how he loads that vehicle and makes sure it's on there safely. That vehicle could have been in a difficult position to load onto the belly of that tow truck.
Without a doubt.
I am saying this is an accident scene, and everybody that enters this scene must understand, they be aware of what's going on. I think this tow truck driver, I can't see it, but he waved to the guy. They both had communication. He understands, hey, I just need to spin it around so that I can get set in place. This is an accident scene. You're going to have guys walking around. You're going to have guys out there. You don't even know if there's somebody laying in the road.
Yep.
You've got to be cautious, and I think everyone needs to pay attention when they enter these accident scenes and understand this is a working environment.
Without a doubt, Dave. I'm not going to argue that point at all with you, but do I see any emergency lights on the top of this tow truck? You know, we have officers out on the scene. We talk about using a spotter and using people, your resources. Could he have done this more safe? The safest way, go get an officer and maybe have him help get him turned around? Lots of things going on. I mean, not saying what's wrong or what's right, just saying looking at different things and just trying to take a focus on, you know, you're right, we're in an accident scene, we should be going slow. The major thing to take away from this is that big picture, paying attention, don't get distracted, because even though, you know, you're going down that lane, you don't know for sure what's going to happen.
All right, we got 2 more videos. This next video is called Tight Fit.
You know, here we're coming up and got a stoplight coming up, and the driver's doing a great job here, staying back, slowing his speed.
I've seen this video yesterday,
yep.
And I've seen this. This right here, you know this is a tight squeeze.
Yep.
You knew, but you could tell by the caution that the driver had going into this. There it is, rubbed against the truck.
Yeah, I mean, and so you knew it was tight, and you were doing a great job of slowing down. In fact, you even stopped before you got too far along with it.
Right.
But then when the light changes, you made that decision to go forward with him, knowing that, you know, the vehicle in the joining lane is going to go straight. You're making a left-hand turn, and so you should just let that other vehicle clear, because you already recognize that the situation is tight.
Absolutely. I'm looking at this, and I'm saying the driver knew this was tight.
Yeah.
The driver knew this was
right
a squeeze. I mean, the driver knew, like, this isn't look good. I don't like this at all. And sure enough, thank goodness he didn't, because that right there makes it difficult. And that's not even an easy turn for any truck.
No. No. Not the best intersection layout I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's not an easy turn for any truck. Really, my deal here is realizing immediately that it's a bad situation. What you do is you wait. You just wait. You're right here like, oh, no, stop right here, and then wait until that truck proceeds.
Yep.
Make sure you have plenty of room.
Yep, without a doubt. Just a little more patience, and like I said, you have to wait through the light to cycle through. You have to wait.
Yeah, because I can tell you right now, that gate and all that stuff there on the left, that's a tight squeeze for a 13.6 box.
Yeah, he's pretty close when he goes past it, there's no doubt. So
this last video is pretty insane. It's called Crazy Van.
You know, we got the same thing going on as in the first video, where we've got some construction going along, and we got a vehicle that's lane is running out, gets into this driver's blind spot, runs into this driver, and then drives off. You know, a little bit more to this. The driver does follow the vehicle to where it pulled off and got into a station, and you know, called 911 when he got the opportunity. But just crazy stuff we're seeing all the time. We just got to be, you know.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right here, this is a scary situation.
Yeah,
100% terrifying. A vehicle like that could get sideways and lose control and go into the oncoming lane. There is no doubt. The potential right here for the loss of life is extreme.
Yeah.
These vehicles could be knocked over. I don't care if the Jersey... You think that Jersey wall is going to stop that truck?
No.
Seriously?
I do
I
not.
know it won't. I know it won't. 80,000 pounds hits that Jersey wall. It's just going to keep going. It may deflect a little bit, but right here, this makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
And there's no way the driver knows this is going to happen.
No, none at all. And the driver does a great job of maintaining and holding it. And just, you know, very fortunate, a lot of things that there wasn't traffic alongside to make this situation worse.
I mean, came out of nowhere and pushed the truck over.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm just going to tell you right now, if the driver hadn't reacted well, he would have teed that van sideways, and it would have been on its side.
Yep, and kept pushing or rolled it, without a doubt.
I mean, this right here is a great reaction by the driver to give way right here once he made contact, so that van doesn't get sideways and get pushed over or loses complete control at this speed. I'm telling you, great job by the driver in reacting to a bad situation. There's no, and came off the gas. The van... gone. I mean, just doesn't care.
Obviously, I mean, you know, from the very start to the very end, doesn't care, because, you know, he caused an accident and drives off. That's a hit and run. That's way more dangerous and way more egregious than if they'd have pulled over and exchanged information. Yeah. That's a hit and run.
Yeah, that is an arrestable offense right there.
Yeah, and hopefully they did. So those are the videos today.
Wow, those are dramatic videos. There's some of the scenes in there. I'm, you know, just how difficult it is. Look, the cameras that are mounted on the mirrors, they actually see that blind spot a lot better than the driver does back in the chair.
Without a doubt.
There is, I mean, when the driver's sitting back in the chair up behind the wheel of the big truck, that area down there below on the right-hand side is a complete blind spot.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, you got to lean forward and look up to see that area.
Look and lean.
Yeah, you got to look and lean to see that area. You talk about a difficult position and a difficult situation. In all of the drivers reacted well in each situation.
Yes, they did, and that's the great part about it is they were doing a lot of the things, most of the things, just about everything right. There was nothing they could do, and like you said, that gets into that blind spot. You know, Dave, we think about what safety equipment is or where it's come from and what it's going to. When we get those mirror cameras down the side and we have the TVs, you know, instead of the mirror so we can see our blind spot, it'll make everything a little bit safer. But until that time, like you said, got to do that lean and look into the blind spot, see what's going on over there. But I mean, you take that last one, even that van just came out of nowhere. So, I mean, even if he'd been tracking the vehicles, probably still would not have caught that van because of just the idiotic action he took.
You know, if you watch the video, the driver there's nobody in front of him.
Yeah.
There's nobody, really, there's nobody around. It's a clear, wide, open, clear day, and you're going, and somebody comes up on your right-hand side and ticks you, and the driver did an excellent job in reacting well in order not to make that a worse scene than it was. Also, the only thing that I saw in any of the videos was the driver at the railroad tracks. Driver could have held back. Just held back a minute and let the other truck move on and then moved up into position.
Yeah, because as you watch that one, you know the driver knows it's tight because he stopped well back of trying to get all the way alongside of it. So he knows that. And so if he just waited till that truck went through.
There were so many things going on at that intersection that people don't really see. Both trucks were stopping well this side of the track so that they're not on the track at the light. See, if you'll notice here, they're not out on the track. There's a light way ahead. So the truck has to hold back in the track area, but on this side of the track area so that they don't extend onto the track.
And block those tracks.
There's a lot going on here. And you got to understand that's all going through a truck driver's brain trying to ensure that they're safe because they don't win on the track either.
No, because you know the driver, the left hand has to make that left hand turn, has to clear the intersection, make that left hand turn.
Absolutely.
And the other vehicle has to go through.
And it needs to be a protected left turn.
Yep. And the other vehicle going straight, it's not even a straight line. He kind of has to do a little bit of an S curve. So there is so many different things that enter into that one.
And what we're asking, and the drivers are doing a great job. I knew that the driver knew that was tight before they approached it, squeezed in there, right? You and I agree, right?
Absolutely.
There was a moment of hesitation, like, should I not? I mean, I have a lane. I want to go left. And let me creep up here a minute and check it out. Let me get my whiskers in there to see if it's too tight. You know what I mean? And I mean, just like an animal does, but when it goes into a really tight situation, I want you to make sure that's a great video because I think the driver was trying to do the right thing, and it just became more difficult than necessary if he'd have just been a litlittle more patient.
Yeah.
Right? And just said, hey, you know what? I'll wait one cycle of the lights. I don't care. Go. I'll figure it out. But I got to protect it. I got to make sure that's clear to the left. And I might need to swing wide anyway. There was no way that truck was going to be able to swing wide with that other truck next to it that tight anyway.
No, like I said, you said that there's so much going on in the intersection and not the best laid out one, but it is what it is. And so you have to survey it and you have to make it work.
Good, predetermined decisions as you enter into these things. Look, that's not an easy, I want everybody to know that's not an easy call at that moment.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't want everybody to realize, oh, well, yeah, it's easy to second guess and armchair it. What I am saying is when you and the driver knew, because he hesitated a moment, he knew that it was tight.
Yeah, he recognized that.
He recognized the danger that was there. And I'm just saying, when that moment occurs, do us all a favor. Stop, be patient, let it play out, and then proceed forward. Stop, pay attention, let it play out, and then proceed forward. Don't be up in it. Don't be involved in it, and don't let it just stop. And I'm going to tell you right now, the other one, the first video, where the driver does a fantastic job of going a very slow and steady pace, allowing cars to come in, but at the same time allowing traffic to proceed at a pace.
Yep.
It wasn't fast. He was entering. He surveyed the entire accident scene better than anybody else.
Yep. And he was controlling the traffic in his lane. Like you said, he was controlling the speed, keeping it slow, so he's controlling the traffic in his lane. And I don't know if some of those four-wheelers just getting impatient with that, but he was doing the safe thing, the right thing.
Absolutely. What great videos today. You know, and showing how difficult sometimes it just is out there.
Yeah, driver's life is not always easy, and those videos definitely showed that.
Absolutely. All right, let's close with a quick prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. And Father, thank you for everything that you have given us. Thank you for all the blessings in this world that you have bestowed upon us. Help us to appreciate each one of them and not take any for granted. Father, we ask all these things in your name. We pray, amen. All right, everybody, have a great, wonderful, and safe day. This is Drive Safe Dave and Double Check Dale on
BCB, the safest station in the nation.
There we go.